Okay, I want to make this video probably shorter than the last one, but that should be, well, simpler. you know, I could go on about this topic for a long time, but I'll try and keep it simple. I am a fan of Shadow the Hedgehog. I can say that. It's difficult for me to put exactly how I view it, what I think about it. You know, like I could say I think it's, I have fun playing it. That's what I can say. I have fun playing it. I enjoy playing it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I think it's a well-designed game. I don't think it's a well-designed game. I mentioned last time, I think the controls are adaptable. I think it can be enjoyed on that merit. But I will say the level design, not the level design, more of the enemy placement and the objectives and the missions within the levels. I get why people don't like that, and I get why people don't enjoy that. And I get why people will quit that. Absolutely. And I think the critiques against that are all completely merited. The complaints against the story, though, I mean, people say there is no point to the story because of the last story segment, which means that all the other scenarios are non-canon. For me, I like that though. You would dislike that if you didn't like making your own pathways, but I thought that was the point, and I thought that was what I found enjoyable about it. I make my own pathways for Shadow. I will write down a pathway for the game that I want to play. You know, hero, hero, dark, dark, you know, dark hero, something like that. And I'll play through the game in that way, and I'll make up in my mind kind of like what the kind of story in that is. Where Shadow is going, why he's going there, what he's learning there, what the end of the story means, what the ending means. And sometimes you kind of need to imagine it because the game is kind of goofy and kind of lame to a degree. Like the dark or the hero ending in Black Comet is really lame. so so I kind of write in my mind around the idea of, oh, it's Shadow, you know, being independent from everyone around him, right? Because in that ending he is, no one can tell me what to do. This is who I am, and it's goofy. But the whole point of that, is of course that's the ending, and Shadow is not manipulated by anyone. He casts off relations from everyone. So I did a pathway, I recall, where Shadow basically ended up fighting everyone. You start off dark, so he destroys the humans. And then you can go, mainly neutral or hero from there, but you'll end up in Black Comet, probably from um, Iron Jungle to get to Black Comet. Probably from Sky Troops to Iron Jungle. Um, I remember that as a pathway. I say that as a pathway, but you have a lot of, you can mix it up a lot. But that is the general pathway. Fight the humans first, defeat them, then Shadow fights Eggman, uh, defeats him, and then he of course turns on Black Doom. And in that, he turns on Black Doom and defeats Eggman and says, "I'm not with anyone." It can be cool, especially if, like, let's say you go the Doom Dark Mission to the Arc, and then you do neutral, and then you go to Black Comet, and then you do hero mission there. So it's like Shadow went to the Arc, manipulated by Black Doom, right? Because in the flashback, he killed all the gun soldiers, and then he's neutral, so he goes to Black Comet. Then you do the hero one. He says, "Casting myself from Black Doom" in that ending. So you imagine it in that way, and that gives context to the game, and I like that. I find that very enjoyable. Um, Now, I find this is kind of an underappreciated element in games as a whole, really, is context within the game. And I think specifically in critique of things like Metal Gear, it's underappreciated. I think it's commonly very underappreciated. Is the simple critique of context in the game and how that makes you feel playing the game. I think that's something not a lot of people highlight. Um, But what I will say regarding is Shadow, from that perspective, the way I play it, you're playing it with that kind of story in mind. The context of the game suddenly becomes a lot more kind of exciting in my mind because I'm perceiving, how the story is in that. And again, the thing is, that ties back to what I said in the last video where I said experience in a game, depending on the game, can make that game better. Now, certain games are not improved necessarily by you having experience playing it. In fact, some games might feel better the less you know about it. In the case of Shadow and Sonic Heroes, though, I think the more you know about the gameplay in that example, and in this example, the story, the better I think it is. So Shadow, there's a lot of little lines. I remember these things. I remember cutscenes. I remember lines of the game. I remember aspects of the game. And that helps me kind of formulate my own little story for myself, right? Because my favorite pathway in Shadow, what was it called? I believe it's called the Fall Home. I believe that's what it's called. And I think it's dark, neutral, hero. I believe is what it is. And what that is Shadow destroys Westopolis, destroys the human communication system in Digital Circuit. Then he, goes to Cryptic Castle, neutral. So regarding Eggman, he's neutral. He just leaves. And then he goes to the Doom, and then Black Doom here attempts to basically get Shadow on his side, right? Because when you're neutral in that case, right, you've weakened the humans, right? Because those former missions you did, those weakened the humans. But if you notice, above the Doom, all those missions above on the grid, the level grid, they're all like bad for the humans, right? Like Central City, the Ark, they all have bad endings for the humans. So Black Doom here is intending to convince Shadow to come to the dark side completely. Come with me, Shadow. Blah blah blah. Shadow does not, right? In this case. So in this case, Shadow, he's given the vision of the past, and then he goes with Maria and he saves the people on board, and then he's teleported to Iron Jungle, where he's then told, "Oh, I'm a robot." Hero mission there, down to Cosmic Fall. And the thing that I really liked about this, right, because I was first coming up with the scenario, is Shadow. The first thing he says when he lands in Cosmic Fall, he's like, well, I'm trying not to curse. Dang it. I mean, it's Shadow. Dang it. Nothing makes sense. The doctor's actions and words, he mentions. That's the key. So you don't know what he means by the doctor. He could mean Gerald, or he could mean Eggman, Robotnik, right? And in this case, I was having him mean Robotnik. He already encountered Robotnik earlier, and then in Iron Jungle he encounters him again. In this case, Robotnik told him, "You are a robot." Down one more, and then he's confused by this. Because Shadow is confused. That's the key point of this entire scene. Shadow is confused. Shadow, throughout this entire journey, he's trying to learn, and he's confused. He's confused about what Eggman said to him, and he's confused about what Black Doom said to him. He's confused about why things are. And then he gets his answers from Gun Commander, right? And then he goes searching for answers against Black Doom. The thing that I like about that, not only is it kind of like a searching for his memories kind of thing, which is the point of the game, but it also has that kind of like redemption thing. Because Shadow still, destroyed Westopolis and the human communication system and all that. Whatever you call it, you destroy in Digital Circuit. So he did that against the humans, and then the ending, the good semi-hero ending, is all about this kind of thing where Shadow is it's about redemption. Shadow says, "Oh, I have done this to the humans, and I need to redeem myself, so that's why I'm fighting Black Doom." He says that. And of course, that's also known as the emo ending. "I'm a research experiment gone deadly wrong. I never should have been created. This is who I am." Meme-worthy, funny, but also, if you cast it from a different lens, tragic, right? You think of like Shadow's character in Sonic Adventure 2 as well. He wanted revenge on the humans. Think of the crimes he committed then, right? From that perspective, it gives the story a completely different meaning. And for me, that is fun and cool, and I like doing that. Now I see why many people would not like doing that, because A, they find it difficult enough to even play Shadow the Hedgehog because of the control and because of the emissions and the level design and blah blah blah. And B, they don't know enough of the plot to even think of it in that way or care about it in that way. Because if you just play it with the regular straight pathways most people do, neutral, 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 hero, neutral, 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 hero, 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 dark, 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 right? The story is not very good if you just play it in that way. It doesn't really make much sense, not much cohesion to it, not much depth to it. In those pathways I just described to you, you can put some of your imagination into it, and then it has some more depth to it, right? And that's what I get out of Shadow. I can play it comfortably. I can get A ranks good. I can play it well like that. And I can have fun with it. I can have fun with it. The Doom and Lost Impact are still horrible, but I'm getting better with them these days. It sucks that they're so important to like a plot thing when you're making this up, because you don't want to play them. But and that's completely fair shot against the game. I'm not trying to say Shadow the Hedgehog is good. Yeah, it's good. I'm just trying to say why I enjoy it, maybe why others enjoy it, and just kind of analyze it and kind of give it more and more depth of a critique to it than I see most people do. That's just really what I wanted to say regarding Shadow. That's why I enjoy it. That's why how I route it like that. And I see why most people can enjoy it in that way. But that is, what I wanted to say about it. Sonic Heroes, I don't have much more to say, honestly. Sonic Heroes is just, I understand the control. I remember the level design. I enjoy it. I don't have as much collision detection problems as others, or I've developed workarounds for them. Shadow, kind of similar story. I have experience. I know the game. I can play the game in that way. In the case of Shadow, I have that very unique way I play it, but that's why I can enjoy these games. And, I hope that's comprehensive. That was enjoyable. I hope, some others out there, have had similar thoughts, but I couldn't articulate them. If you agree or disagree, feel free to talk about that. If you have any questions regarding these games or most other games, I'm fairly knowledgeable on games, or whatever, feel free to ask. Thank you very much for those who have watched, and all that. Okay, goodbye. See you for the next video I publish.